Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation and welcome to the Andy Campbell Championship Show, episode number 47, technically. Welcome. It's Friday night, new time slot, same show, different format. It's all going to be fun. Of course, you can catch all of our shows in video format at youtube.com/acepodcastnation. Please subscribe. That is the best way to support the show, support the channel. Of course, every Monday we have the Andy Campbell Football Show, where it's myself and Andy, joined by a professional footballer, past or present, or coaches, managers, whoever the guest may be for that week. And we will be announcing the guest for Monday shortly, and it's going to be a good one. I will say that much. Of course, you can get the audio versions of all the usual shows and everything. Usual places: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, to name a few. And if you live in the Middlesbrough area, you can also catch the Andy Campbell Football Show on Red Army TV radio station on a Wednesday evening, I believe. So, yeah. I'd also like to take this time to thank Black Diamond Sports, who support and sponsor the show. Black Diamond Sports is a global sports agency representing sports stars from around the world. For more information, you can visit their social media pages, which are linked below, as well as linked at the end of the show, and also their LinkedIn page as well. But without further ado, let me introduce my co-host, the man with the plan, the goal collector, the speed demon, Davy Jones' favourite son, the king of the second worst town in the UK, and the king of the Millennium Stadium still. Mr. Andy Campbell, how are you, sir?
Good evening, mate. Yeah, really excited. Glad to be back finally about where we left off. I know it's been a while to talk about what we're going to talk about, mate. Championship. So yeah, it's been lockdown has brought a new adventure, which has been great. But we obviously wanted to finish off all the hard work which we previously done. We've obviously had some really good feedback from the show, so we wanted to give back what people are looking for. So. I think it's quite fitting that it's done on a Friday before games. I think it's going to work really, really well.
I do too, mate. And there's already some people, namely Martin and my wife, saying they're never going to stick to 45 minutes. Well, 45 minutes is half of football. It is 45 minutes this show. We may have some injury time, but I also just want to take this opportunity because there's some stuff happening in the world, and I'm only going to discuss this once, ever. But I do want to address this so there can be no doubt, no rumours swirling. Congratulations to Liverpool for winning the league, and they deserve it.
Did they win the league?
That's it. That's all I'm saying. Change the subject. And on to any other business, my friend. Any other business for the week. Championship only. You go first.
Right. I think there's only one place really for me personally to start, and that's the new managerial change at Middlesbrough. Obviously, Jonathan Woodgate losing his job, and Sir Neil Warnock taking over. And I think sometimes things happen for a reason, and he couldn't really make it up, really. You know what I mean? I think I'd also like to take this opportunity to say the post I put on social media over the last couple of days was a joke, by the way. I'm not Neil Warnock's assistant manager or part of his coaching staff. It was a picture of me and him at Cardiff City Stadium one game after a game when I went to Cardiff to visit. So I'm not assistant manager. The phone's on, by the way, Neil. If you are ringing.
Yeah, look at this.
But no, listen. He'll do a great job. He'll keep the club up. I do believe it was something what had to be done. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. I'm good friends with obviously the previous manager. I went to school with him, etc. But for me, a change needed to be made, and for me, it's all good, and hopefully, he can bring the same success to Middlesbrough like you brought to Cardiff.
Yeah, look, mate. To be honest with you, I think Boro are going to stay up anyway. I think they would have stayed up even with Woodgate because I think there's 3 worse teams than them elsewhere. However, if I was Charlton, I would now be very, very worried because with Middlesbrough changing manager, 9 times out of 10, new manager, whoever it is, brings a reaction from the squad. It'll have a couple of results. There's only 8 games left, so even if they have a pickup of 3 good results, they're safe. Then you add in the fact that it's Neil Warnock, arguably the most successful Championship manager of all time.
Yep.
And it becomes even more problematic. Then you add in Lyle Taylor refusing to play. And unfortunately, Charlton, who we talked about in the early part of the season as potential playoff contenders, look likely to go down, which I think is really sad because Lee Bowyer is, I think he's done an excellent job. He plays great football. And also, mate, the other thing I would just add, is as we discussed on the show, that I got told by someone that Lee Bowyer was going to Cardiff and it was a done deal. And we kind of... we broached it a little bit with Mehmet Dalman, and he said, look, he basically was too expensive. So, you could take from that what you will. Well, how different could his season have ended,
I totally agree. You look at the success. Obviously, we're going to go into the results, and obviously things. It's small margins, really, really fine margins, and he's decided to stay for whatever reason, and hopefully for him. And his football club and his fans to stay up. But personally, as long as Middlesbrough stay up, I'll be happy because I need my team in the Championship. I need him in the Premier League, but I'm not greedy. I'll keep him in the Championship for now.
Indeed. And any other business subject of the evening, we have Jude Bellingham of Birmingham City, long been linked to many clubs. It looked like he was going to Man United. It looked like it was a pretty much done deal for him to go to United in the summer, and still might be. But friend of the show, Mr. Jan Arga Fjortoft, tweeted the other day something quite interesting, basically saying that Jude Bellingham might be off to Dortmund.
Jan normally knows his stuff, and normally his sources are really, really correct. And
especially in that part of the world, mate.
Exactly. So, listen, would it be a good move? I think it would be an excellent move. He's going to be playing Champions League football. He's going to be following the likes of Jadon Sancho, etc. Following successful English players. The Germans seem to like young English talent, and he needs to continue his development. Also, we spoke about this with quite a lot of passion that he needs to play football. There's no point in going to sign for one of the world's best teams in England or abroad and not playing football. He's got to play. He's played so many games this season. Probably lockdown and the breaks probably done him a world of good because he can recharge his batteries a little bit and then push on because he's obviously a very, very talented young boy and the future's extremely bright. So if that means going to Dortmund and flourishing and he can come back and help England one day, then I'm all for it. I am all for it.
Yeah, I got to say, mate, if you were going to name me two clubs to sign a young British talent, United and Dortmund would be the two at the top of my list for who were going to do best by him. United generally do very well with young talent. Obviously, you could point to Wilfried Zaha as maybe being the exception to the rule, but generally, you look at Daniel James. He's gone in there. Everyone expected him to just basically, be on the bench. Yeah. He's flown. What a great season he's had straight away. So I think if he goes to either of those clubs, then there's a good shout, mate. I think.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, so we got lots to talk about, and only 45 minutes to talk about it. Yeah. And we're already 10 minutes in. So we're going to go through some of the results. We're obviously not going to go through it in the amount of detail as we were previously because we've changed the format a little bit to make it a bit more compact for the Friday nights. So we'll start alphabetically. Cardiff City 2, Leeds United 0. I was worried about this game, mate, before. Obviously, no one knows how these teams were going to turn up for their first game back after a break. Leeds were obviously flying before the break. Cardiff not so much. I was concerned, and we did a little preview before the match. We talked about we were a bit disappointed with the starting lineup. We thought it was a bit defensive, but also we both kind of said we felt like Glatzel should be playing, and I said I thought that Glatzel should be the focal point behind with Tom Lane and Mendes Lang and a couple of others behind. He didn't go that way. He went with the hard work in Patterson, and it paid off for him, mate.
He got his tactics spot on. We were concerned. We spoke at length about tactics, squad, team, how strong Leeds were. But obviously, the lads have worked hard during the break and got himself in good shape, and they got the result which they thoroughly deserved. So. Excellent for Neil Harris. He's got himself an opportunity now to get in the playoffs, but there's no point resting on that one game. They've got some big games coming up, which they need to kick on. Yeah,
indeed. By the way, Glatzel's finish was an absolute
Superb, yeah,
What a
superb.
finish.
Just exactly what the fans were expecting when he first joined. So hopefully it'll give him a bit of confidence and kick on now.
Yeah, and I think Mendes Lang deserves a lot of credit as well, because actually he was the one who won the ball with Leeds messing about with it, which I know you're going to talk about later. But yeah, Leeds messing about with it at the back when they were chasing a goal. Never.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy finish though. He's took it really well, composure, accuracy, the pace he hit it at. He's a renowned finisher, scoring goals at various levels. So I'm not surprised, but I just want to see more of it. Now.
Yeah, proper mate. Next up was Fulham 0, Brentford 2. Both two top teams in the league. Brentford left it late, but 2 late goals to seal it.
Yeah, I think you look on paper that it looks like an upset, but for me, Brentford have been the standout performers all season. Played some great football, scored tons of goals. I think the only surprise on Saturday for me was that Ollie Watkins didn't score. Ollie Watkins scores all the goals, so great result for Brentford. Obviously, they've got a game this evening in about half an hour. They're playing West Brom, so a huge game, but they need to kick on and try and catch the top 2. So yeah, fantastic result.
Indeed. I thought, Fulham went close through Bobby Reid, but generally they didn't quite get going, really. Obviously, I had Reece Weston on the podcast, who works for Brentford now, and he speaks very, very highly about Brentford's squad overall, the team spirit they've got. And you can see, you look at the team on paper, and it doesn't necessarily look the same level as your Fulham, your Leeds, your West Broms. But they just keep churning out the results, mate.
They've got something right. They've got something going. But this is their year. They've got to make it happen this year, because if they don't, I do fear that the players will disperse and go here, there, and everywhere, because those players deserve, some of them, to play in the Premier League. And I can't see Ollie Watkins, for example, playing in the Championship next season.
Or Ben Rama. Ben Rama.
Ben Rama's the best player in the team, but
what
I mean? I just think there's a lot of players on that side who want to play Premier League football, and if that's with Brentford, great. If not, I do believe they'll move.
Well, for me, mate, I feel like Ben Rama, I feel like even if they go up, he might go. That's how good he is. Yeah. So it's a case of they've got to make sure they go up, really.
I totally agree.
Just to make sure.
You know what I mean? They deserve to go up for me. You know what I mean? If
they do,
will they be able to handle the playoffs if they get in it? If, you know what I mean? If they can catch the top 2, which is a big ask, by the way. Even if they get a positive result tonight, because they're running out of games now. So it's about, they probably need to win 90% of their games. So it's about them to it's up to them to do the job, and let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, indeed, mate. And then we talked about this a little bit on Monday, but I know you want to touch on it a bit more. You've got Middlesbrough 0, Swansea 3. Ryan Brewster was the outstanding player on the pitch.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Swansea were excellent. Middlesbrough were awful. To be honest, I was more surprised that Swansea weren't 2-0 up before they scored the first goal. So disappointed with levels of performance. I think Middlesbrough were saved a little bit that they had no fans in the stadium. I think they would have got booed off the universe if there would have been fans in there. But listen, Swansea played all the good stuff. They thoroughly deserved what they got in the first half. They were energetic, fit, hungry, won the tackles, passed the ball really well, created loads of chances, and Middlesbrough didn't have any answers. And yes, they brought on a 5-sub group in the second half, but it didn't get any better. The game was a pretty dead game, and Swansea thoroughly deserved it.
Yeah, they killed it, didn't they? Half hour, the game was over. Middlesbrough poor. Yeah. Jonathan Woodgate had to go. I've seen a couple of people have put some questions in the chat. We'll do the questions right at the end of the show. Okay, next up it's Millwall 2, Derby County 3.
One person I'm going to talk about later on is Louis Sibley. He got himself a hat-trick for Derby. An unbelievable way to open your account for a football club, but Derby just keep on going. We talked about Wayne Rooney factor last time we had on the show, and if Derby were a little bit closer towards the playoffs, I do believe that they would probably go in like a steam train and go all the way up. But I just think they've left it for me a little bit too late, because I can't see them not losing for the rest of the season. I can see them winning a few games, but it's a big ask. And if they do get in the playoffs, then to be honest, he's got to be up there for manager of the year, because he started absolutely awful. So we were very critical and thought he was never going to still keep his job.
Well, we thought Rooney was going to take it, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Philip Cocker, you know what I mean? He's done a great job since Rooney's come in. It obviously just needed a little bit of tweaking here and there, or he needed to get his feet under the table, but he certainly did that. Millwall's never been an easy place to go to. You know, Jed Wallace, Matt Smith. You know, they've got some good players in there. So it's a great result going there and getting a 3-2 win.
Do you know, mate? One of the players who I think deserves a lot of the plaudits for Derby. Obviously, Rooney takes all the credits on the pitch. And obviously the youngster scored a hat-trick. Probably next year's Jude Bellingham. Be linked with all the big clubs if that's anything to go by. But the player which I really think deserves credit is Tom Lawrence. Obviously you had the drink driving thing with Keogh and some other players, which we absolutely rightly so destroyed him for. We had a rant for a couple of weeks about that for various reasons. And rightly so. My dog's now barking at the bin men. Apologies. But Tom Lawrence, he got his head down. He didn't say anything. He didn't react to the criticism he was taking. He got his head down. He was dropped from the Welsh squad, and he's got on with it. And he's been one of the best players in the Championship from I would say, about 3 or 4 weeks after that incident. As soon as he was back from his ban, or his suspension, club suspension, and he was boom. And he's been incredible ever since, and he was outstanding again.
Good things side come out of bad situations, and it doesn't get any worse than the situation the Derby players had themselves in. You know, it's horrific. But you know, I mean, the positives what come out of it are absolutely great. You know, so if lads have learnt from it, move on.
Spot on, mate. Who do you? I tipped Blackburn Rovers to sneak in the playoffs, and I think you agreed. Yeah. They went to. Well, Bristol came to them and they smashed them 3-1.
We had Stewie Downing obviously on during lockdown on the football show on Monday night, and he was quite adamant. You know what I mean? Confident that they've got some really good players in the group that can hurt teams going forward. Yeah. You know, the league table doesn't lie. You know what I mean? They're just outside the playoffs. They've got an opportunity. They beat Bristol City 3-1. Bristol City are such a difficult team to work out. You know, that Lee Johnson, I heard all the positives during lockdown that they're doing training, doing this, doing that, and he just can't seem to get things right on the pitch. And I do feel really, really sorry sometimes for clubs. You know what I mean? They spent a lot of money, so the pressure obviously comes with that. And you know what I mean? It's going to be a big ask again for Bristol City to go in there, because Swansea are on form, Cardiff are on form, Blackburn are winning, Derby are pushing. So there's just so many teams trying to push for those top 6 places. Yeah,
it's going to be tight. There's so many different teams which could get potentially a playoff place. I do fancy Blackburn, particularly if did Bradley Dack play, or is he just on his way back?
On his way back from injury.
In the squad.
On his way back from injury. No, he wasn't on the bench. No, but what Stewie said about players stepping up, didn't he? He said about Armstrong stepping up and Corey Evans stepping up and other players joining in and scoring goals. Gallagher, Holtby himself. So you know what I mean? That they've got a good nucleus and a good group of players, and that's only going to be added when Bradley comes back towards the end of the season, because lockdown's obviously brought them a favour of extending the season, and if they can get him back for a playoff place, then they've got an opportunity to get promoted.
Well, mate, the other thing as well is that Lewis Holtby was injured before the break. He's back, he started, they got a good 65 minutes out of him. Fantastic player. And I think Corey Evans was also injured, and he obviously sparked the fight back. So, I mean, I think Blackburn are one of the teams who really benefited from the break, because literally they've got players which weren't going to play the rest of this season. So, you know, you've got
totally agree.
Positives out of a negative, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and I think that's the thing. It's all about continuation and getting enough points on the board. You know that we've got 8 games left now. You know what I mean? There's 8 big games, cup finals for. There's probably every team in the league at the minute is playing for something. There's teams can go down if you're on a bad run. There's teams from 14th, 15th who can still get in the playoffs. The top 2 is not set in stone. The bottom 3, no one's relegated. So every single team at the minute's got something to play for.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Just for people in the comments, as we said, we're going to answer all the questions at the end, because we've got a lot to get through in 45 minutes. Next up was Huddersfield 0, Wigan 2.
I'm surprised. Huddersfield have obviously been one of the most informed sides. Obviously before lockdown. Wigan came with a game plan. I think they defended really well in the first half. I've seen the highlights, and then scored a couple of decent goals themselves. So it was a big result going away from home there, because they were on a slippery slope at the minute before lockdown. So it gives them an opportunity to get out a little bit and push ahead of some of the danger sides, the Wigans and the Stokes, and the Charltons and the Stokes and the Huddersfield. So it's an opportunity for them to kick on now, because obviously they'll have a home game or two to follow.
Yeah, and Wigan looked like they might just sneak out of it, and they looked dead and buried.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, there's a few people asking for our predictions of who's going to come back, and it's a tricky one. I think Huddersfield, I think, probably all right now, and I think they're far enough away. I'm just going to have a quick look at the table, but I think they're pretty much safe, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. I'd probably say they've got too much quality, but no team's too good to go down. But at the same time, I just hope that they just continue to play the way they are, because they've impressed me. I love the two managers. I think they're a breath of fresh air, lovely, great ideas. They've progressed on themselves. So hopefully they still, because I do like that football club.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Great performance by Wigan though, and Anthony Pilkington. Well.
Yeah.
Still going strong. Hull City 0, Charlton 1.
Result of the day for me. Yes, Hull are in dire straits, but what's happened for Lee Bowyer over lockdown and the Lyle Taylor factor and a couple of other players not playing, it put a lot more pressure on Charlton. Obviously, they got an early goal and hung on towards the end, really. Hull brought some attacking players on second half and threw the kitchen sink at them. Had some good chances to score themselves, but Charlton hung on for a massive 3 points.
Yeah, massive performance by the captain as well. Pierce, not just he got the goal, he was excellent. And we've got... Who was next? Luton 1, Preston North End 1.
Preston obviously fighting for a playoff place. Obviously got a big game coming up at the weekend against Cardiff. Led the game for a long period, and then Callum McManaman scored a very good equaliser towards the end. And when you've got someone like Callum McManaman and some of the attacking players for Luton, they've always got a chance. They're not the best side in the league, but when you've got players like him and the ability he's got, they've got an opportunity to score goals. And his goal came out with nothing, but there's another football club as well who deserves an opportunity to stay up. And they've had some really, really, really good results this season against some of the big sides. So let's see how they finish the final 8 games. Yeah,
that goal could be massive for Luton. Massive.
Yeah, massive. Yeah,
because if they'd lost that was going to be a big problem for them, because obviously Charlton winning as well. Luton, sorry, we just done that one. Ignore me. QPR 0, Barnsley 1.
I didn't see this coming at all. All season we've been raving about QPR going forward, scoring goals. Jordan Hugill, Eze, and Barnsley. To be fair, Barnsley are the side who creates chances, but they also let a lot of goals in as well. So I've been raving about them last season about keeping clean sheets, and they finally got one. So huge result again for them personally, but bad result for everyone down the bottom, because it just makes everything tighter, more interesting, of course, but it makes things very tight.
Yeah, it didn't take long for QPR to concede that goal, and like we've discussed and you just mentioned, QPR's defence is what lets them down when they've got some unbelievable attacking talent. I do wonder whether some of those young players will be there next year, which is going to create a new set of problems for QPR, unfortunately. But it is what it is, I suppose. Jacob Brown, I thought, had a very good game, and the goal scorer, and how do you pronounce his name? Inacio, was it?
Yeah.
But I thought he was very, very good.
Yeah, excellent.
But Barnsley, massive result for them as well.
Yeah, huge result. It's given themselves a chance, because they've got some home games to come up, and this lockdown is going to throw some funny results around, and let's see.
Indeed, Reading 1, Stoke 1.
Obviously spoke to Charlie Adam on Monday's show about the game, and Charlie was quite critical of himself for the equalising goal. He didn't mark his player properly, in his opinion. And so obviously he was very disappointed. Obviously Joe opened the scoring, very good goal again. He's a very good player and scores a lot of goals in the Championship. But I thought it was an opportunity lost for Reading to claw a little bit of closure towards the playoffs and give them an opportunity. I think they're probably in a position where they're probably stuck in the middle of not going up, not going down. But you're on about big goals, Si. That's a big goal for Stoke, and Powell is a big game player. And that could be a massive goal. So playing Middlesbrough at the weekend, so it doesn't get any bigger than that, really.
Yeah, Nick Powell has revitalised his career over the last couple of years. Obviously, he was at United, he didn't go to plan, and he was, exceptional talent and highly rated. I know United really thought he was good, but he just didn't quite click for him, and then obviously he's ended up here. And he's really, really looking good for Stoke City. And it's not the first time that he's salvaged points for them either, I'll say.
No, I totally agree. It's the way they do things. They let a lot of goals in. So it's about getting enough points on the board. And you know what I mean? There's so many big teams down their side. Stoke are no different to anybody else. The Barnsley, the Middlesbrough. So it's going to be so interesting at the weekend, especially but towards the end of the season.
Indeed, Reading, Lucas Jow was exceptional. I really
he's one of my favourites. One of my favourites in the Championship. Scores goals. He leads the line really well. He's powerful, big, strong, and yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah. So next up, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Joe Lolly.
Yeah, I say Forest. You know what I mean? They've given themselves an opportunity, but obviously another late goal. Connor Wickham equalised. I think it was his first Sheffield Wednesday goal. Sheffield Wednesday, they needed to win that game, especially with Fulham getting beat. It would have closed the gap on there. So not a very good result for Nottingham Forest point of view. But you've seen a lot of late goals, Si, in the Championship.
Yeah,
is that down to fitness?
About to say that.
Is it down to tactics? Is it down to other teams working hard during lockdown than other teams? It's so interesting. Is it going to continue? Because obviously these kind of games, it's so interesting to see, you know what I mean, how that then affects the league, because these last minute goals equalises to keep your team up, to stop teams getting automatic promotion. It's going to be it's going to be absolutely amazing to see how it affects the season.
Oh yeah, mate, definitely. And the thing is, you see a lot of it in pre-season as well, don't you? Like late goals and a lot of goals, and I do wonder whether that's a massive contribution to it. It's just that, but we'll see. And then finally, we're through the games on the 30-minute mark. West Brom 0, Birmingham City 0.
Didn't expect it, Si. I expected goals galore. I thought West Brom would have really hit the ground running with the attacking talent what they have. You know what I mean? Robinson, Phillips, Pereira, Robson, Khan, who started the front four. But obviously we spoke about Jude Bellingham, Jukovic and Hogan have caused a threat before lockdown. So, you know what I mean? Birmingham's a great result for them. First and foremost, but I think especially with what happened the next day for Leeds United, it's 2 points dropped for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And I think the other thing, I thought West Brom looked very rusty, mate. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know how much training they've been doing over the lockdown period, but they didn't look as flowing and as adept as they have all season long, which I found really interesting, because they can't do that for very long, because otherwise they're going to have a big problem, because other teams have hit the ground running, so they can't afford to get caught up, get dragged back. And as we've mentioned, it's all so tight at the top and the bottom. If they have a few bad results, the teams around them will take advantage very quickly.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be so. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see how it's going to finish, and then you've got the playoffs at the end of it. So if you're lucky enough to get in the playoffs, you've got an opportunity, real big opportunity to get that holy grail of the Premier League money.
Oh yeah, the West Brom still 7 points clear of Fulham in third, and luckily for them, Fulham lost, but 7 points could be dragged back if they have a couple of more drop points quite quickly. I feel a bit sorry for Birmingham. They've lost 3 players, I think, to end of contract who are not playing, and I think that's one of the issues we discussed, wasn't it, about the extended season and the lockdown and potential issues, and Birmingham haven't got the biggest squad anyway, so it's another issue. Okay, so as part of our shows on a Friday as well, each week we're going to just have a little contribution from someone else, whether it be current footballer or previous footballer. And this past Monday we asked Charlie Adam about his thoughts of Reading's game last weekend and also Reading's game next weekend.
We drew at home at the weekend, which was tough. We did okay, and opportunities that up to about 70 minutes, and then they started launching balls in the box, and they caused us problems. We never defended the goal. Probably looking back, it was I'd say it was probably my fault for the goal. I misread the cross, and I thought that they were going to miss it. And when you're defending set plays in the 94th minute, you got to deal with the cross, and probably never done it well enough, and we lost the goal, so I'm disappointed with that. But
played against Stoke City, which obviously timing's everything. Timing's everything in this game. You're playing against Derby next weekend.
We played Derby Saturday, Brentford Tuesday, so 2 tough games.
2 very tough games. Obviously, Derby for me are since it's the Wayne Rooney factor. So tell us what your thoughts are about Derby at the weekend.
Yeah, Derby, like I say, it's Wayne's obviously gone there. He's been a top player, still is a top player. He's a key player for them, and Lawrence is a good player as well. So no, we beat them earlier in the season, so it'll be a tough game up at Derby. Obviously, no crowd, which for me, I think it makes the game even. So we'll go there confident to win the game. We'll have a strategy come Thursday how we want to play, and we'll be ready to play, and then another tough game against Brentford, who I think are one of the best passing teams in the league, and the movement they can cause you and the problems they can. It'll be a very difficult game, but we're at home. We'd expect to beat anybody at home, really.
So that was Charlie Adam from the Andy Campbell Football Show on Monday, talking about the upcoming game for Reading versus Derby and Brentford. Very interesting, mate, that Charlie didn't play on Saturday against Stoke. He was on. I think he came on for a couple of minutes towards the end.
Yeah, he came on about 7 minutes ago, yeah.
But nothing. And incidentally, he himself said that he felt to blame for Nick Powell's goal, which, again, these late goals, was he, because he was only on for a couple of minutes, it's difficult, isn't it, to get yourself into the speed of the game and everything. So it's an interesting aspect to it.
I think Charlie's just very professional. One thing I got from our interview on Monday, that he cares. He's very professional about what he does. He knew that he made a mistake, and he knows what to do for next time, and he'll make sure on Saturday against Derby that it doesn't happen if he's in a similar position. And he spoke very, very highly about Wayne Rooney, about and Lawrence as well, and obviously for Wales and for Derby, that knows how many threats that Derby have, and it'll be a tough game. Obviously, Reading beat them in the early run of the season, like Charlie just said, and can they do the double on them? Because that would be a huge achievement.
Yeah, I think Reading a better side with Charlie Adam in there, but we'll see. Right then, obviously this Monday we have the Andy Campbell Football Show, where we have a different person join us each week to talk, whether it's their career, football in general, answer some questions from the live chat. Andy, why don't you tell the people who is joining us on Monday?
We've got a big one on Monday. I've been working on this one for a few weeks, and got confirmation today. Normally we do announce it a little bit earlier, but I've been waiting on him on a busy man. And so this Monday coming, we have Cardiff City captain, ex-captain, but my friend and hero, Graham Kavanagh. So big Cavs coming on, and I can't wait. You know what I mean? I've known him for many a year. I know you've had him on the show, and just a lovely human being, excellent footballer for club and country, and I'm really excited for Monday.
Me too, mate. See, a measure of the man is when I first started the Ace Podcast Nation, I had very little subscribers, very little followers. I was just contacting people with the hope that they would, spare me their time, and he was one of the first people I contacted. So I had pretty much the least amount of. If he had gone on my page, I had very little followers or anything.
Yeah.
And he straight away said, "Yeah, I'll do it," and he did it. And what I'm looking forward to on Monday is because I've already covered his career in detail, bit by bit, like what we normally do. It's going to be a whole different aspect and a different type of interview because we don't want to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I know people have watched it recently, so we're going to have to switch it up a bit, mate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a nice catch up. The stories from Stoke City days and things what people probably don't know about it. I know Stoke fans don't hold him in the highest of regard, and I think that's a little bit disrespectful. And that's one thing I want to find out about his feelings on it, because he did a phenomenal amount for Stoke City. Let's start there. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to ruin it for people, but you know what I mean. For me, he's a legend of Cardiff City. You know what I mean? Forget what other football fans say of negative things, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Okay, so to finish up now, what we're going to do is myself and Andy, we're going to have a little competition going into the rest of the season, where each week we're going to do our predictions. We're going to pick either a team or a draw from each game, and we'll total them up the following week, and then we'll see who's got the most predictions right at the end of the season. So next Saturday, the 20th, Friday, there's a game as well.
We have to start tonight, yeah. So we start tonight.
So Friday, 26th of June, is Brentford versus West Brom. Who you got, mate?
I'm going home win. I'm going Brentford. I just think they need it. I just think they need it more than West Brom need it. It's going to be a fascinating game. Really looking forward to watching it. But I'm going home win.
So I've marked you down as Brentford, and I'm going to go with a draw for that one.
All right. Okay.
And then tomorrow we've got Charlton QPR.
I'm going to go home win. I'm going to go home win again. I just think Charlton are in dire straits. I think QPR's bad result last week. A local derby. Yeah, home win for me.
Oof. I'm going to go QPR win for that one. And then next up we've got Swansea City versus Preston North End versus Cardiff City, which is
last Sunday I got my prediction right of Cardiff winning. If anybody watched the live preview of the game, so I said Cardiff City would win. I'm gonna put my neck on the line again, but I'm gonna go draw. I just think 4 points out of the last two games would be huge for Cardiff. So as long as they don't lose, I think they'll still be in a shout for getting in the playoffs. So a draw for me.
I'm going to go 2-1 Cardiff City. I know we're not doing scores, but we'll go with that. Then we got Swansea versus Luton.
Home win for me. There's not many times I want Swansea to win. I didn't want them to win last weekend, but I want them to win this weekend for various reasons. So Swansea City.
And I will never, ever in a million years go with Swansea City, so I'll go a Luton Town win. You're welcome. Barnsley versus Millwall. We're getting close to the final... final few minutes.
Barnsley. Might have to go in a bit of injury time. Barnsley to win. Home win.
Barnsley to win. I'm going to go Millwall. Derby County versus Reading.
Sorry, Charlie. Home win.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to have to go home win as well there, mate. No, do you know what? Just for the sake of the game, I'll go with the mighty Charlie Adam to score the winner with a Reading win. Birmingham versus Hull.
Home win. Home win. Hull are in turmoil, so I'm going home win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. So we got Leeds versus Fulham.
I didn't know that was a game at the weekend. What the top four playing against each other? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. You said Birmingham win, didn't you, for that one?
Yeah, Birmingham win. Yeah. I'm going to go Leeds. Leeds will win. Home win.
Leeds. I'm going to go Fulham because, like Swansea, I'll never go for Leeds. Stoke versus Middlesbrough. What a game.
Oh, easy away win.
Neil Warnock to work his magic.
Neil Warnock work his magic straight away.
And I'm going to go with a draw for that one as well. And then we've got finally Wigan Athletic versus Blackburn Rovers.
I'm going to go away win. Blackburn Rovers will win. I think they're on a little bit of a roll. I think Wigan will be a little bit complacent after winning last week, so I'll go away win.
Yeah, they've had that a lot, haven't they, Wigan? After a good result, they do tend to mess up. So I'm going with Blackburn as well because I've tipped them all season to be very, very good. So that's the predictions. So just to finish off, and we might go into a few minutes injury time we'll go through some of the questions which have come in through the evening. Okay, so let me see, what have we got? I got to scroll through it now to find. So send your questions again if you want them answered, because we've literally got like 5 minutes or so. Okay, so Johnny Wish I saw said that. What did he say? He said, Johnny Wish, should Tom Lawrence get back in the Welsh squad?
I 100% think he should. Yeah, I think why not? You know, he's made a mistake. But now he's letting his feet do the talking, and I like that. You know what I mean? We've all been young. We've all made mistakes. When you're a footballer and it's high profile, it gets everywhere and everyone knows your business. So I think he's made a mistake, and now he's getting the rewards of knuckling down, and he's had a really good season, so he deserves to get the accolades for it as well, which means international football.
Yeah, I think he should as well. I think he's got his head down. He's done the right things, and he's a very good footballer. And Wales don't have a big enough pool to exclude very good footballers who are still young enough to play. Neil Campbell asked, Andy Campbell, who will get relegated from the Championship?
Oh, listen. I'm with you, Si. That Middlesbrough won't go down because there's too many worse teams than them. So I'm going to go. Luton will go. Hull City will go, and I still think Charlton will go. So I think I fancy Barnsley to get out of it because I think they've got some good attacking players. I'm going to go those three, but I think two of them are definites, and the two definites are Hull and Luton.
So I'm going to go Luton, Hull, and Middlesbrough. No, Luton, Hull, Luton, Hull, and Stoke. Anyway,
you fell off your chair.
I'm going to go Stoke. Stoke are going to go down. Martin Spate asked, who's going to win the Championship?
Listen, I would love to sit here and say that Leeds United are going to bottle it. I seen enough on Sunday, which showed me that they have got the talent and they have got some good players. They're lacked in certain areas. And for me, it pains me to say this, but Leeds United will. Martin, Leeds United will win the league, mate. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I think Brentford are going to win the league.
If they do, mate, that'll be massive. That will be massive if they do that.
Of course it will. And I want them to win it just for Reece. We've got to be honest. Let's have a look. Any more questions? Did I miss?
Yeah, Joshua was just put one on about Neil Warnock. So do you think Neil Warnock will keep Middlesbrough up? And if he does, will he stay next season? Also, hearing Woodgate will be back in a coaching role after the season finishes. So the first question there is, will Neil Warnock keep Middlesbrough up? Yes, I believe he will. I think he's got that X factor, which he's been there, wore the T-shirt. He knows exactly what to do. Will he stay next season? If he keeps them up, I'd love to see it. Do one more year and finish off on a high. His career, let him be done. I don't think anyone should come back after being relieved of their duties and stay in the coaching role, because I think it just shows a lack of respect and people will have to act differently around people. So I wouldn't personally go back, because you get sacked from somewhere. I'm not saying he has been sacked, but if you get sacked, would you go back into that workplace? Not for me.
Yeah. Richie asked, with Jazz Richards gone, who should Cardiff City sign for the right back position? Chris Gunter maybe, and I think Chris Gunter is a fantastic shout.
Chris is a great shout, yeah. I think he'd love to come back to Cardiff. He's fit, he gets up and down. He's probably perfect for Cardiff City mould. He probably fits Neil Harris's mould as well. So yeah, I'd probably go the same. That's a great shout, yeah.
Spot on, mate. And 45 minutes, 25 seconds. Subscribe to youtube.com/AcePodcastNation for all the videos and shows. We have a new show out on Sunday with West Indian cricketer Kieran Powell and former Glamorgan cricketer Anira Norman, previewing West Indies versus England cricket series, which is coming up in July. I also have a show with Adam Hollyoak, former England cricketer, coming up shortly, which is an episode of My Story, as well as many, many more shows, including a new cricket series, a new boxing series, our Danny Batten MMA series. We have the Andy Campbell Football Show live, 7:30 every Monday. This week we're talking to Graham Kavanagh, and of course we have new shows every week available in video and audio format. Thank you to everybody who's watched, joined in the comments. Spread the word, leave a like, leave some more comments. Tell your friends. It's the best. People asked me, a couple of people DM me this week saying, how can we help the show or how can we help the channel? And honestly, the best way to do that is to tell your mates, tweet about it, spread the word, because then it just grows organically as it has done over the past, whatever it is, 47 shows. Andy, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, loved it. Can't wait for Monday. Everybody have a lovely weekend. Hopefully your football club gives you a bit of joy over the weekend for everybody. As long as the Middlesbrough win, Cardiff don't lose, I think I'll be a happy man. And
just because I can, I'm going to play that the Andy Campbell Championship Show intro again.
Of course you can.
Before I play the outro, just because I can and because I made it.
Strikes him. Oh, he strikes him absolutely beautifully. It's Andy Campbell. It's Andy Campbell. It's in. Campbell comes off the bench to be a hero.